complex. That is why you are adjusting. So then why are you saying now, you're moving goalposts. If you adjusted because of that complex, let it be. But if you are doing this for other pending bills, that would be okay. But now you're saying it's just because of that complex. You can't do a committee because of that.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, furthermore, there is complex you're telling us, Blue Valley. Fine, I've got 1.4 billion as original amount and 1.0 billion as balance at the beginning of the year. But your variance is 1.2 billion, 1.25 billion. So what other excuse do you have for that difference? You said it was one JM karaoke. Assuming it was, you had reflected 1.07 billion, you still have about 200 million unaccounted for. And the reason we are asking this, Governor, this is not just accounting. People, officers are manufacturing pending bills. They are manufacturing claims and putting them into the system. And that is why you closed your financial year with pending bills of X, and then you wake up the next day, it is Y. Then you get intelligent, clever explanations from people who perhaps are the ones who have created fake bills. So over and above JM, which is 1 billion, where is the other 200 million coming in to vary your closing balance?
What I know from where I sit as the CEO, not a technical person, is that when I came in, there was a pending bill about 1.7 billion.
No, Governor, specific to this. We are still on the midnight of 30th of June.
I think they use the wrong format.
We are still on midnight. Because how are you going to accept 1.25 billion created at the midnight of 30th of June?
I think the formatting is wrong, as you had.
No, it's not formatting.
Chair, Governor, in a court of law, I'll now be saying there is cooking of figures. Because at midnight, Chair, how do you wake up and just come up with a figure of 1.1B? And you have struggled to explain to us, you are an accountant. Are you convinced that what you're doing is right? That you could at midnight cook the figures, come up with 1.1B?
Out. If
Yeah?
we can give proper
no, the proper is to me, Governor, there is something fishy with those figures. That 1.1B, there is a story behind it.
CC of Finance, when did you become CC of Finance?
March 2025.
March 2025. Are you comfortable with these figures? With that leap, with that change of the figures?
I was an accountant in the county. And
so you are part and parcel of it?
Yes, I prepared part of the financial statements.
Okay.
Chair, I just wanted to find out from Governor on this JM karaoke issue. Did you at any point requested the support of the national government? Number two, and just be writing, I can see the small people in quotes are suffering because in your schedule, there are people like Amy Courage, I don't know who Amy is, Mr. Speaker, not the chairperson. Others like Paul Kababi, 84,000. Chair, number two, I've seen something unique about your disclosure. Governor, I wish you would be listening. Would you be listening?
Governor, give us your attention, because if you give us your attention, we can be done by 2. Yes, Senator
I'll
Cherargei.
shoot with military precision. Allow me, Chair. I've noticed a number of people in the disclosure financial statements are people we call small people, 150,000, 87,000, led by Amy or Courage. I don't know who Amy is. Number two, I've realized, Governor, I hope you are noting that you have not remitting statutory deductions to NSSF, NHIF. I've seen Love Fund. Just allow me, Chair, to run through like NSSF. You didn't, for example, in 2023-2024, you didn't remit 4.5 million. Outstanding balance are still 4.5 billion as of, because the outstanding balance of your disclosure in pending bill is 2.9 billion Kenya shillings. I've seen you have one for NITA, NSSF, another one for Kenya Power and Lighting Company. And also I see you are not a good friend of media. You have not paid Nation Media Group. You have not paid Royal Media Services, around 580,000. You have not paid Standard Group. You have not paid Telcom Kenya Limited. You have not paid Provident Fund and Pay as a statutory deduction. So that is on the issue of a number of statutory deductions. Yet it is automatic that when you do statutory deductions, you should remit. Finally, Chair, I have seen, and my colleagues in the profession should be excited that there is Maya Fashions. I don't know which fashions are you doing, because on June 6, 1.6 million is being owed to Maya Fashion. So I really want to know which fashions are you doing. I know people of that place are not very good. If it was another region, I would be interested to know which type of fashion. Chair, I just wondered, my colleagues in the profession, there is something about county office of the county attorney, so that I conclude. Sorry, Chair, for taking long, so that I don't need to come back. There is something about advocates, and my seniors here would be very keen. There is what we call office of the county attorney, and from Wambui Kipicho law consultant to advocates to Wainjungo Martin, 163,000, 4.5 million, 2.8, 25 million. Manyonge Wanyama advocates, 25 million, Chair. So my concern is this number of advocates in the office of the county attorney. One, why would you outsource legal services? Yet there is the law that the Senate did pass on the office of the County Attorney Act. Number two, what is this from? You cannot say this is not your spending, because it starts from 2022-2023, which I want to believe you had assumed office to be the governor of Nyandarua County. So if you get, like, for example, Manyonge Wanyama advocates being owed 25 million, others owed 500, which of course based on advocates remuneration order. My concern is, why would you use a lot of resources? Because senior counsel and the chair, I don't know, this comes to around 30 to 40 million that is being owed to the law firms. Why would you outsource? Thank you, Chair.
Okay. I hope you took note of the various questions. Please respond.
Thank you, Chair. On the part of the pending bill, especially the constitutional ones, when I came in, I found that my former predecessor had not paid KRA for the 5 years. So we had about 200 million to deal with. So far we have just cleared that one, and also from our part we have no debt. We actually negotiated with them for a waiver, and we have cleared the KRA. Also, all other statutory bodies, we are now updated, but they have not been paid for the last 5 years before we came in. So that is where,
Point of order, Chair, in one of the NSSF, it is on 2023-2024. So when you are in office of 4.5 million, and part of 2.9 billion outstanding pending bill of is among the statutory deduction.
sometimes they dress slightly because of exchequer late release, but right now we have no debts. But
As of today, you have cleared.
we have cleared.
So this annexure, which is part of your evidence, is misleading the committee.
As of today. By
Yes,
by the time we are doing it, we could be having some balances, but as of today, we have cleared after receiving
So
our
there is
exchequer.
no statutory deduction that is pending.
No, we don't pay it this time, but they've been paid for quite a number of years.
Governor, as a matter of fact, in this audit report, it indicates you owed LAP Fund 155 million and CPF 28 million. Can you confirm whether those have been reconciled and settled?
Some of them are questionable, Chair. I was talking about the status.
You just talked of, but even that's part of statutory.
Yeah, but some of those funds are still have.
So it is not true what you said earlier.
Yeah. When it comes to LAP fund,
In the same report, it said that you owed KRA 49 million.
that is cleared. That is cleared.
No, actually, those were penalties and interests of 49 million. And it goes further to say that you would have made a saving of 71 million had you followed the law. And so the Auditor General has told us that 71 million is nugatory expenditure, or rather wasteful expenditure, which should be recovered from somebody. How are we going to recover the 71 million that had to be paid to KRA due to errors of omission and commission by your officers?
Chair, I've just explained to the committee that that is the money that accrued before I got into the office.
Yes, there was someone before you got to the office.
And that is why I came in to rectify and to give to make a positive change.
Governor, I'm not fishing. I'm looking at the report of the Auditor General on the question of pending bills. So I don't think I'm posing trick questions.
Agree, Chair.
I'm going to that report and tying it to the question of Senator Cherargei. So we have confirmed that LAP Fund and CPF, you are not up to date.
Yes,
On KRA,
we are up to date.
but with the additional wasteful expenditure of 71 million.
Of course, we negotiated for waiver to the extent that it could allow, but you see that was without my reach, Chair.
Would you know to what extent the waiver was granted? In this report, correct? Or it was still part of the task force?
No, that one we handled it directly with them and we cleared.
So when you eventually paid, did you pay all the penalties and interests? That's what we want to establish, so that we can ask the EACC to find out who was supposed to have done the right thing and failed to do the right thing, which led to a loss of 71 million on the part of Nyandarua County.
Chair, the facts are there. It's very clear that we as the new government have tried to save as much as we can by negotiating.
But it will not be unfair to make a recommendation for investigation to establish those culpable for the nugatory expenditure, because there'll be options of surcharge and there'll be options of prosecution. Would that be unfair?
Chair, at your discretion, but things are okay now. If you can be allowed to move from there, we are good. But at your discretion, Chair, it was a big problem which we are now resolved.
Okay,
Maybe, Chair.
yeah, and then after that, go back to the remaining parts of Senator Cherargei's question. And then members, we quickly close this thing.
Issues to do with the advocates. I would like to say that last year we employed a Solicitor General. In fact, we are with her here. And the only times, and the professional lawyers like Spooner would say, is that these are very professional people, and some cases must be handled by certain category of people. And at the same time, Sometimes they come very urgently, abruptly, which can cost the county much if we don't take quick action. Those are the times we go for an external advocate. Otherwise, right now we have a good team. They're handling so many cases, apart from one or two that are maybe beyond the people we have, and also timelines. Sometimes due to the bulkiness of cases, sometimes you can bring in a person from a pre-qualified list.
That can be explained, but the audit query here is that the procurement for the external legal services was not approved by the County Executive Committee. That's in the report of the Auditor General. Did you provide evidence to the Auditor General that there was approval of the County Executive Committee as required by Section 16 of the Office of the County Attorney Act?
I agree with the auditors, and then I will follow it up to see, Chair.
Yeah. Are you hearing that for the first time?
For the fact that they were not given the records, I'm hearing it. Yeah. So,
are you hearing this for the first time, Governor? That you procured 50 private law firms, no, you had 155 cases, 50 by private law firms, 75 were not indicated. However, the procurement for the external legal services was not approved by the County Executive Committee.